is going on? Here's a video on how I read and study my Bible every single day. But before we start reading, I got to do my little mini morning routine real quick. Hold on a second. Get. Okay, so can you hear me? I think you can. I hope. So my hair looks kind of bad. It's okay. It is 4:24 and I thought I'd do a little Bible study video on just like how I read the Bible and stuff. I've definitely made a few of these before, but I've totally changed how I read it. So I feel like I need like an update, you know? Because like I feel like I read it way better now than I used to. So yeah, I just understand it easier now. Anyways, we got mild liners. This is a Tombow pen, a Muji pen, another Muji pen. Best pens in the world, hands down. I actually woke up at 3:54, 1 minute before my alarm. So that's kind of weird. I have a post-it note too. Okay, you know what? That light is not on and it's bothering me. I gotta go turn it on. So, how do I study my Bible every single day? Well, what you need: pen, apple. Just kidding. I like to write in my Bible and I like to highlight it. So, if you want a pen, I also have a note taker's edition. So that means that for notes, you might look at that and be like, that's so much words. What am I even saying? I will tell you. So I read a chapter a day of the Old Testament, and I'm also reading through Matthew right now, which I take my time more with Matthew. Like, I think I read Matthew chapter 7 in like 4 days. But I read the chapter, and then I will reread it, and the second time that I go through it, I use commentary. So commentary is just like what someone else has like written as they read it, which you gotta be careful because you can have some people that write some pretty weird stuff, but a really good one, unless someone has a better opinion. I don't know. I really like the Enduring Word website, and they also make videos for each chapter. But this is what their website looks like, and then this is what I was reading. Here are the videos that you can click on. Let's click on one. There's a whole video, which is really cool, and then goes into the full chapter. Okay, is it even focusing on that? Why is the focus canceled? Don't cancel the verse, and then it goes into the commentary. So it'll say like the verse and then like what was written about it. And so after I read a chapter, that's what I read. I'll read that next, and I mean, of course, while I'm reading it, I take my own notes, but honestly, like, I will read it and like maybe highlight, underline some things, think I kind of understand it. Even when I think I understand what I'm reading, this will like open up my eyes to like so many other things that I would never have thought of in a million years, and I'm like, what? I have the SKJV app. Now this is a Strong's concordance, which is like a big old definition dictionary. So what you do is, what is going on? Oh, okay. So confess Romans 10 Romans 10 verse 9, that if thou shalt confess, okay, so these two words, there's two numbers here. Let's click on 3674. That means at the same place or time together. At the same place or time together. So the second word, so let's click on that, goes to this, which means that was not focused on me the whole time. So yesterday when I was reading, I put those two words together as like, the first one was coming together and the second one was like the divine expression. So then I was like, okay, so to confess means to become one with what God sees, to come together with God's divine expression. Because when you're confessing, you're like, I messed up. The funny thing is like he already knows you messed up, but you have to like come together with him in the divine expression and like become, over here you're like, I messed up, but I didn't, just kidding. And God's like, you did, and you're bad. And then he's like, I need you to come together and say, I'm sorry, I did this. And then you confess.
I don't think that made any sense.
That probably made no sense. Yeah, so that's the next app that I use, the SKJV app, which is just the Strong's Concordance for all the words in the Bible. That helps me to understand the words even more. Basically, if there's a word that I don't really understand, or if there's a word that I'm like, I wonder what that really means in Hebrew, because that's what you're really getting down to, because the translations get a little fishy sometimes. If I want to understand what a word means in Hebrew, I will use the Strong's Concordance and understand it a little bit more, and understand it in a better, deeper way, and then that helps me to connect with it more and understand it more. And then the last thing that I use is my little Versify app, which I love this app. I love Versify. It is a verse memorization app. So you pull it up and then you got these verses that you can save onto there. So I have memorized James 1 and Proverbs 3, 1 through 12. I am working on Proverbs 31, 4 through 7. And I have some other ones on there that I don't practice enough, but this is what it looks like. This is like my very beginning, early stages of using it, which I got it a few months ago. I've memorized that whole thing and this whole thing, which looks like a lot of words, which whenever I first started, I was like, how am I gonna do this? And then you just do it one verse at a time, one word at a time. I used to think that memorizing verses, like I would go to church and they'd be like, telling us to memorize verses or whatever, or like people would be like, I know all these verses, I'm really cool. I knew zero at the time, and I would always feel like, wait, do I need to be doing that? I have never memorized a verse besides like the ones that are very obvious to me, that are like simple and like one couple words. I've never really memorized a verse before, and since I started, I cannot name the amount of times that I've literally woken up. You know when you wake up in bed and like right in the morning and you just feel terrible and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the worst feeling I've ever felt and I have to get up right now? You know that feeling? The amount of times I felt that, like the worst feeling ever, right when I get up, and I have to get up but I don't want to get up at all. I'm like, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have a perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. And it just comes out, and then I like feel like 100% better, and I get right out of bed and I keep going. Like, I just got chills. Like, it literally, number one, reading the Bible every single day, which I first started doing like 3 years ago, really seriously doing it like 2 years ago. No, I really seriously started like 2.5 years ago. I don't know. Anyways, reading the Bible every single day, and now like really reading it. I mean, I know that I could go into way deeper study, like which I should. But I try to study every single day for like about an hour, and I just write all my little notes and I read over it twice and I do my thing. This is just how I do it. I know that there's a bazillion ways to study your Bible, okay? Do not just think that this is the only way. This is just what I do. This is just what I do. Disclaimer, this is just what I do. Anyways, reading, studying, pairing that with memorizing verses. Game changer, okay? Game changer, baby. Sword of the Spirit. Like, imagine, like, your sword is this. Like, this is what you defend yourself with. You read it, and you memorize it. And then when you feel like crap, like a piece of poop, right when you first wake up in the day and you don't want to get up, count it not joy when you fall into diverse temptations. I'm like, this temptation of me wanting to go back to sleep right now, no, we can't be doing that. I'm going to count it joy. I'm going to be happy right now that I did not want to get out of bed. Because what a poopy head. Okay, I'm blessed to be alive. A lot of people didn't wake up today. And I'm just going to like, get up. And then I get up and I'm like, let's go. So, I've been talking for a long time and I haven't even started reading. So, my coffee's cold. It's not really cold. It's just like lukewarm. Dang it. Anyways, I'm going to read. So, I'm going to read Leviticus 5, the second half. And then probably a little bit of Matthew. And then I'll show you how I take notes and stuff. So, Jesus. Okay, so I got my enduring word pulled up and I'm just gonna like read through it and take notes on anything that I need to. So I just finished Leviticus 5 and I'm going to read chapter 8 of Matthew. What was I looking for? I'm going to read chapter 8 of Matthew. Also, I really like post-it notes because sometimes I run out of room. So I'm really sad I bent this page. I didn't know. Let's read chapter 8. So first I'll just read it and then I'll go back over it in a second. Chapter 8 is full of so much good stuff. So I didn't mark up anything yet, but I'm gonna read through it with this. And now I'm gonna take notes as I read again. So. I apologize for my sleepy eyeballs, but I look really sleepy. Anyways, I just finished reading, and Matthew chapter 8, so good. I mean, Matthew chapter 7, so good. Matthew chapter 6, so good. Anything that Jesus is saying, I'm like. So, anyways, this is what it looks like now. So I started here, and then I took all these notes today, and oh, post-it notes. Got him. The reason that I take so many notes is because, like, when I go back through my Bible and read, like, I read it and then I'll read my notes that go with it. And it's also cool because the commentary comes with, like, words that other, like, famous preachers said. So, like, Spurgeon and Henry and Bruce. Do I know who those people are? No. I've actually just been introduced to them through this, and I'm sure that they are probably very famous preachers that I am really silly and don't even know about. So, anyways, you definitely, this is just how I do it. Like, there's a bazillion ways to study the Bible. Do whatever works for you. I'm just trying to, the reason that I read like this and take all these notes and stuff is because reading, rereading, reading what someone else said about it, and taking notes and writing it down helps me to remember it. So, like, especially in the Old Testament, the first time I ever read the Old Testament, I had no idea what was going on. No clue. Not a one. Now, I, like, bring up stories from the Old Testament into, like, day-to-day talking, and I know the whole story, and I'm like, this is so cool, because before, like, I would read it and I'd be like, I don't know what I just read. Close. and like would just close the Bible and be like, okay, I read for today, got him, check. But it's not a check that you should be checking off. It's a, did you like understand what you're reading? Like, can you apply it to your life now? Can you be a doer of the word? Like, you can't really be a doer of the word if you don't even remember what you read. So that is something I'm working on. And yeah, I'm actually going to finish today. I finished with a prayer, started with a prayer, and I'm gonna work on my little verses here. So I'll do this literally. I work on memorizing verses maybe 5 minutes, maybe less. Like a little teeny tiny bit a day goes so far. Like I can memorize like a sentence, and then like the next day, like I'll have it memorized still, and then you just keep building that up and up and up and up. So yeah, that's how I study my Bible every single morning. It usually takes me about 45 minutes to an hour, to sometimes I've done it for like an hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours. It kind of depends. If I'm having a day that's like, I gotta stay here. Like if I'm like feeling like I gotta keep reading, I will keep reading. But yeah, that's it for today. So thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna memorize some verses and go work now. So it is 6:19, a little bit later than usual. I'm usually done by 5:30. Happy Bible reading. Okay, peace out, bye.